Welcome, dear friends, to the Taviren, a Wheel of Time podcast hosted by three gentlemen for whom the very wheel itself bends around. Without further ado, here are your hosts, Bill, Rob, and Rich.
Welcome back. It has been a long wait, but welcome back, everyone, to the Taviren. My name is Rob, and you have stumbled upon Counter Catch-Up number 3, which will entail all of the counters for the entire first book, The Eye of the World. Bill, Rich, and I will be coming back soon to talk about The Great Hunt and what transpires within that book. But for right now, I think we are going to go along with the counters. I hope 2020 has been a good year for you so far. I know that, well, to put it bluntly, a lot of crap, a lot of shit has happened in the year 2020. The death of Kobe Bryant, between coronavirus, and between all of the justice protests for George Floyd. Hope everybody is safe and well. Bill, Rich, and I will do what we can to make the rest of 2020 be as enjoyable as possible with our continuing coverage of the Wheel of Time and Book 2, The Great Hunt. And when filming resumes for the upcoming Amazon TV show, you know we'll be keeping our ears and eyes glued to the newsfeed for any information coming from there. I'm going to go right into it and go over what counters we do have. Not a lot has changed from the second counter catch-up, but there were a few things that I wanted to kind of tie off into a neat little bow as we move on to Book 2. Now, I am going to keep an overall count. So the numbers that I give you now will continue to increase as we go through the rest of the series. Starting off, we have Angrily Crossing Arms. And in the first book, Eye of the World, we have 2 accounts, Egwene Alver and Nynaeve Almira. For Ignoring the Weather, I actually have 3 bits here. First, from the beginning of the book, Tam Althor. And then we also have Alan Mandragoran and Perrin Ibarra when the group was making their way through the Blight and the weather was very humid, very muggy. It seemed that Lan and, to Rand's surprise, Perrin seemed unaffected by this drastic change in weather. Smoothing of the Dress. I have 4 total counts here, 1 each by the Dark Friend assassin, Millie Skane, who tried to get the boys, Matt and Rand, as they were making their way through to Camelin. Elaine Tracond, as she was smoothing her dress from all the bits of the tree that she gathered as she was climbing down it. And then 1 each, Nynaeve Almira and Egwene Alver. Obviously, a boy or a man must have done something stupid, and they had to smooth their dress as a manner of keeping their hands busy so they don't thump anybody. Wishing They Were Players. Now, I do remember that Matt will get into the fold in the next book or 2. I have 6 accounts. 3 each, Perrin wishing he was as good as Rand, and Rand wishing he was as good as Perrin. I think also in the last couple chapters of the book, Rand had a couple different realizations of, wow, Perrin's he knows how to talk to Egwene. Man, I wish I could talk to Egwene the way that he talks to Egwene. What's his secret? So once again, we're keeping a running tally of that. So right now, 3, Rand wishing he was Perrin, and 3, Perrin wishing he was Rand. Next we have Bloody Ashes is quoted. Now leading the league, once again, the boy trying to be a man, Matt Cathon.
Matt has cursed 13 times.
Rand Althor comes in second place. He's cursed 8 times. More likely either Matt doing something stupid or maybe in the end of the first book where Rand was faced up against, Baal-Zaman and some other of the Forsaken and being frustrated and channeling or whatever he may have done may have had to been bleeped out. Bloody Ashes. Dropped the BA bomb. Next we have Interrupting Loyal. Now it's curious to see how this one goes. Right now we only have 4 occurrences of that. 3 were by Moiraine Damodred in one section of the book. In one scene, she interrupted Loyal 3 times. We know Loyal likes to take the roundabout way of getting to his point, but sometime Moiraine is definitely needing the answer now. And the fourth time was by Agenor. He interrupted him with a look. I think Loyal was starting to say something, and then Agenor looked at him or gave him a stern look and stopped him in his tracks, interrupted him with a look. The wheel weaves is quoted. Now we have several occurrences of this. Looks about 15 total. However, 8 alone were Ma Rain. And that was her go-to line if anything out of the ordinary happened. Lan's like, oh, for God's sakes, the mayor's daughter wants to come along. Oh, it's the wheel weaves. Oh, for God's sakes, the Gleeman's are coming along too. Oh, it's okay, it's the wheel weaves. And then when they get to find out what they finally have to do, once they get to Camelin and they realize their next step is to the borderlands, once again, oh, it's the wheel weaves, we have to get there. Oh, now we have to go to the eye of the world. Oh, it's the wheel. Moraine has 8 counts of that. Each, with 1 count each of quoting the wheel weaves, we have Master Luhan, Queen Morgase Tracond, Alida du Avrini I Rorhan, Loyal, Agelmar Jagad, Nynaeve Almiera, and Rand al'Thor himself. They each quoted the wheel weaves at least once so far in the first book. Pulling of the braid. Now, once again, I'm very curious to see if anybody else hits on this. But right now, we only have 1 count, and that's by Nynaeve Almiera. Calling Rand a sheepherder. We have 26 accounts of this. Alan Mandragoran is 23 of them. Rand calls himself a sheepherder twice, and getting on the board is Min Farshaw. I'm curious to see how she can. She's going to make a run of these next couple of books at Lan, but Lan has a pretty, almost unsurmountable lead in calling Rand sheepherders. He's leading the pack 23, Rand with 2, Min with 1. This next category is definitely open to conjecture. If they have one that I've missed, please let me know. Times Perrin was stupid. Nothing has changed since the last catch-up. I still have the same 4 bits. Same 4 times Perrin was stupid. When he didn't sweep the barn when they were trying to make their way out of Emmons Field. When he rode his horse into the Arenelle, just in sheer horror of running, not looking back, but not looking what was in front of him. Horse goes in the river. And the next 2, I have during his interrogation by Geofram Bornhold. He dropped that they knew Waters, and he dropped that he knows what a fade is. And if you're ever confronted by a white cloak, those are 2 bits of information you want to keep on the, in quotes, down low. Now, Perrin didn't have a lot of internal monologue in the last few chapters, and I actually think he was kind of boss, especially with when he was talking with Egwene, helping Rand out, being the man he is at the end of the book. But please feel free to hit us up Twitter, email, Discord with any other instances where you think that Perrin should have been classified as acting stupid. And our last one, we have errant name calling. Bill leads the league with 6. I am in second place with 3. And Rich is once again pitching a perfect game. He has 0 errant name callings. Like I said, today was just going to be a counter catch-up, so it's just a quick hit, basically to throw out this episode or quick pod or however you want to refer to it, let you know that we have not forgotten you. We are definitely coming back. We are coming back with season 2. I know that Bill has mentioned he asked me at first to take on this song project, but he actually wanted to take care of it himself. So we get to hear Bill's beautiful singing voice, or once we relay the information of what this is needed for, maybe we hopefully don't get to hear his beautiful singing voice. Sorry for being so cryptic, but you'll understand what that means later. I am going to sign off now, and I'm wishing everybody safe in their travels and in their endeavors. We all will power through this crap fest known as 2020. Be safe out there. Bill, Rich will echo what I'm about to say. All of you are in our thoughts and prayers. We appreciate all the support you guys have given. We're going to come back strong for season 2. And we love you guys. Be safe. Peace.
Now that our heroic trio have left the familiar confines of the two rivers, they find themselves being chased by all sorts of denizens of the Dark One. Our party has been scattered, and the boys separated from Moraine and Lan. Let us hope that luck, or some other force, can keep them safe. Bill? Billiam! Put that dagger down! You have no idea where in creation that's been. No, Rich. I don't have an extra cloak with me. Maybe if you didn't ride your horse straight into the Arenelle, you wouldn't have this problem, For crying out loud, Robert, I know that girl from Berlon said weird things to you, but you shouldn't let it get under your skin so much. What are you, 11? You all remind me of a younger version of myself. Why, back in Watch Hill, I would...
Hey everyone, Scott here with my good pal Rich. Say hi, Rich.
Hi.
And we're here today to tell you about a podcast we host together with our buddies Jay and Bill, the RPG After Years.
The after what?
The RPG After Years. Our show has entered into a new era of covering everything RPGs, both old and new. Thus it is after its first era. It's the After Years.
I thought RPG was rocket propelled grenade.
No, RPG stands for role-playing game. It's a genre of video game. Every week we go through the latest news and discuss other relevant RPG-related topics. We also review RPGs as we complete them.
So an RPG is not a rabid Portuguese goose?
No, thank God. From Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy to The Witcher and Cyberpunk, we've got RPGs covered from the dawn of time to the far-flung future.
Oh, I've heard of Final Fantasy.
I'd hope so. So check us out on iTunes or whatever your preferred podcast listening platform happens to be. You can also find us at probablywork.com. Level up your podcast feed with the RPG After Years.
Enjoy the show.
Hello, friends. This is Troidal Power, host of the Troidal Power Presents the Power Playthroughs podcast with Troidal Power, a podcast where I, your host, Troidal Power, play through games in a powerful way. And I'm inviting you to listen to Troidal Power Presents the Power Playthroughs podcast with Troidal Power, a podcast where I, your host, Troidal Power, play through games in a powerful way. You can find it and a lot of other weird shows at probablywork.com.
This has been a presentation
of the We Can Make This Work
Probably Network.
Follow us on Twitter
@ProbablyWork for more of our questionable content.
Also, we have a website called probablywork.com.